and welcome to the Winner's Journey podcast, where you hear inspiring stories so that you can get that winner within you rolling out, making things happen, and manifesting your dreams. Today, I'm very honored to present to you Tanya Otterstein-Liehs, and we're going to be learning about self love, mindset, and movement too, because she's a certified fitness and self care coach who's dedicated to helping women release their inner self critic. I need that. So they can empower unstoppable self love and guilt free. Wow. Welcome, Tanya.
Oh,
Welcome.
thank you so much, Viviana. I'm so heartful, blessed to be a part of your show, and I'm really, really looking forward to this beautiful conversation that we're going to have. And as you mentioned, Viviana, women specifically need to hear and really listen to.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna go down to the first thing that caught my attention about you
Yeah.
because I'm guilty of it, and it's the self critic. I
Yeah.
mean, how can we stop it?
You know what? In all honesty, Viviana, it's not going to ever stop. I mean, I'm not going to say guilty because we should not feel guilty for having those negative thoughts. We're humans, right? We criticize ourselves, we criticize other people. But what I always like to say specifically to women, because women, we're the greatest criticizers ever, is allow yourself permission to hear that negative voice, those negative messages, those negative words you're saying to yourself. However, do not give them power and believe in them. So let's say you wake up in the morning and you're looking in the mirror and you're saying, oh, another gray hair, another wrinkle, or I don't like the way my body looks today, because we hear those messages. Say, you know what, that's fine. However, I have beautiful eyes, or I have a beautiful smile, or I had this beautiful gift of warmth and kindness. So you're acknowledging the negative, but yet you're doubling up on that positive feedback, Viviana. And when we start to make that a part of our daily habits, daily rituals, then it becomes a lot easier to release all that negative feedback and criticism that we do naturally give ourselves.
True, true. Your voice, I always tell you, is so soothing.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
Viviana, if I can put a pit, kind of carry forth with that too. Perhaps you do this yourself, Viviana, or the listeners do that, that you find yourself when you're really tense and angered or frustrated, your voice gets very loud and boisterous and you feel the anger. But then when you just take a breath, lower your voice, lower the speed you're talking, then naturally it becomes very calming for yourself and even the people that are around you, because we really absorb each other's negativity. We absorb each other's positive energy. And what you release to yourself, you release to others, and people can feel it. So, yeah, that's a way you can just help yourself get into a more calm state.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, here we are always intrigued about the stories behind our guests, and I would love to hear yours to share it with everyone that is listening today.
Oh, my story. Well, we all have a journey, right? We all have a journey, and I'll put the fitness part in there as well because that is a part of who I am. Movement, exercise, fitness was always a part of my life, and I did it for the intention. I continue to do it for the intention because it makes me feel good mentally, because it releases endorphins, or those feel good hormones, right? So movement, any way that it uplifts you, is what is important to acknowledge. So I made fitness a part of my journey. I started out actually in the early childhood education field, became a stay-at-home mom. When it was time to dive into a new career, because I know I didn't want to go back to childcare, I thought, what was a part of me that's always been a part of me? And I said, okay, fitness, because when I'd be at the gym, people would come up to me and ask me, Tanya, how do I do this? How do I do this movement? I see you work out all the time. So that was the natural choice. Became a certified fitness professional, personal trainer. I taught group fitness classes, one on one, groups of large and small. But then during that journey, I started hearing other messages. Originally, I worked for somebody in a studio. Then I created my own business in 2011, seeking that voice inside of me to be strengthened. So, as I was working with clients, they would constantly be saying to me, Tanya, you're my psychologist. Tanya, you're changing the way I think about myself. Tanya, you're changing the way I see myself. Tanya, you're giving me this acknowledgement of I'm important. All these beautiful messages I'm hearing, right? Not even realizing what I was doing to help shift their mindset. So now I'm going to, 4 or 5 years ago now, I shifted my business, and movement, exercise is a part of it, but really honing on now becoming a self care, self love mindset coach. Because, Viviana, I feel that it doesn't matter how much you exercise, move your body, doesn't matter how balanced you eat. And I say balanced versus healthy, but the triangle at the top, if your mindset is not in a place of self love, self acknowledgement, self worth, accepting who you are, believing in yourself, these other two are not going to matter. You're never going to see how much you exercise, how much you eat healthy. You're never going to see those as positive things in your life. But once we start to shift and you see yourself as I'm a valid person, I'm a valid woman, then
Mm.
it becomes a journey of life, a journey of enjoyment. Life needs to be enjoyed, right? We do have our ups and downs, but I find even through those roller coasters, what potentially could be the worst day in your life, when you start shifting that mindset and acknowledging gratitude every day, and again, these are daily rituals, daily habits. When you start acknowledging gratitude every day, then what could have potentially been the worst day of your life? Not really. It could always be worse at the end of the day. So that is my life journey. And it's amazing. It never amazes me, but it's beautiful to know the power of
Mhm.
self-love. And when we acknowledge that, it can be so transformational in so many ways. So, yeah, that's what brought me to what I do as a self care coach, mindset coach for women.
And we need it.
We
We need it
do.
so much, right? It's
Mhm.
I find that as women entrepreneurs, as women who are in business, we demand from ourselves so much more because of course we have the family, or we have our children or the husband, or we always taking care of all these other areas, and being in business doesn't become very easy for us, right?
No, no, we're trying to create this balancing act and this struggle, and we're thinking it's these sacrifices. But as a mom, as a wife, I'll be married 20 years this year. My kids are teenagers, but if I'm always giving all my time to as an entrepreneur, if I'm giving all my time to my husband, if I'm giving all my time to my clients, if I'm giving all my time to the whole world and all my time to my kids, what's left for myself? Nothing.
Mhm.
I'm drained. There's nothing left. And we're only human, right? We as women, we think we have to wear this superhero cape and be a superhero to everybody else. Yet, are you being a superhero to yourself? And Viviana, it's such a good point that you made, that we feel We have to do it all. And we have to be like this, and we have to be like this. And we tend to look at big influencers, and sometimes maybe it's jealousy. But at the end of the day, you are who you are. People love you for who you are. And if those negative people keep on bringing you down, then find a way to either release them out of your life, which is a hard thing to do for many,
Yep.
or possibly spend less time, or I say create a white bubble if you don't have a choice. Because sometimes, you know what? Sometimes we don't have a choice, right? We're in a situation and it's very difficult to get out of it. But at the end of the day, take those 30 seconds, take that minute, take that 3 minutes to just breathe and acknowledge who you are and love yourself. Love yourself. Because at the end of the day, you know what? No one else is going to love you. No one's going to make you love you except yourself.
That is so true, and that is something that we need to work on.
Yeah.
I feel that women, and I go back to the same, but I feel that we are more, how do I say, we feel guilty. Like I speak for myself. We have that I feel that guys are easier. They manage that part easier, finding time for themselves.
Yeah.
We
Right.
have a little guilt thing going.
Yeah, guys have no men have no issue. And maybe that what we talk about this male dominant society, because male have no issue saying, no, forget it. They
Yeah,
don't deal with that voice. I mean, there are men that do, right? Let's it happens. But they don't really have so much interest, or it doesn't really bother them too much what other people might think or say. And it was we as women, oh, but if I do this, if I say this, what's so and so going to say, and what's so and so going to think, and are they going to call me this? Are they going to think about this about me? Who really cares? And Viviana, when we start to release that guilt, when we start to release the should I, could I, what if, when we start to release that, oh my, it is amazing what happens. And it's a daily, I keep on saying it's a daily habit, it's a daily ritual, right? Because it doesn't come overnight. I mean, I've been on a journey for 25 years. Um, and this journey is never going to end. I was, as a child, I was bullied, and then in middle school, I was sexually harassed and touched in ways I shouldn't have been. High school, I had a bully. I was in my 20s in a verbally abusive relationship. And then it's like, phew, okay, I need to discover who I am. And that happened in my mid 20s, when I just said, okay, I need to just say goodbye to all this negativity. And I came up from a very loving, like, parents. So it has nothing to do with them. Very loving, caring parents that are today part of my life and my family's. But I took 2 years when, I turned 25, and I just said, who am I? What do I want in life? And it doesn't matter how old you are. I made the choice. Like I said, I've been on 25, 27. I'm continuing on this journey because it never ends. It never ends, because it has to be a daily self-love, right? And I find that when I love myself who I am, then you get respect from other people, right? My husband, my children respect me. My friends respect me from when I talk how I feel, when I talk about honesty. They need to be honest with themselves. I need to be honest with myself. It creates a more, I don't want to say stable, but balanced and positive environment, because often the environment we're in, uh, helps create the kind of mindset we're going to have, right? And I say again, back to what we talked about at the beginning, Viviana, take those few minutes every day, and I really believe in making movement a part of your life in any way, to feel positive about yourself and to get out in nature. I mean, here in Canada, it's minus 25 with the wind today, but you know what? we still go outside. Not everybody, but I think it's very important. We go outside every day, for a walk, and it's so powerful, Viviana. There's no words I can really find, but I know you understand where I'm, what I'm talking about and where I'm going from. And that's why it's beautiful when I talk to people like yourself, Viviana, who have given themselves permission to acknowledge the beautiful and powerful and important person they are. And when I was talking to you and how you went through a journey too, and you came out, I'll say a better person because people understand that, but I don't mean a better person. You always were who you were inside,
Right.
but you allowed yourself to blossom and become that woman. And that's the difference, right? It's allowing ourselves to become the woman we've always been meant to be, and not being guilty for that, not being ashamed for that. We're here for a reason. We're meant to be who we are for a reason. And if we can share that message, and that's what I love about your podcast, if we can help share that message and let other women know this, what we're talking about, then the more stronger women around the world become.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I hear you, and I'm digesting everything you're saying.
Yeah.
You mentioned something that got my attention because I kind of went through that experience, and I know how it can leave a mark on the women. And it's when you go through either sexual harassment, or if even if you go to, abuse of some sort, or you're molested or bullied. And by statistics, 7 out of 10 women, sadly, go through that experience. And I think that's why we have the world the way we have it, because by tradition, by ugly tradition, I would say, I don't know how to say in a different word, but these women are not empowered. We were not taught to embrace, or to be acknowledged and say, okay, this happened to you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry that you went through this situation. It's the other way around when people hear things like that. Oh, what was the woman doing, or what was she wearing? I mean,
Yeah.
always trying to flip the guilt to the women. And it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of self work to come out, and to come out through the journey of, it wasn't my fault
Mhm.
at all.
Yeah.
I love myself. I didn't
Hmm.
look for that.
Yeah.
I deserve the best. I don't deserve that.
Yeah. And I feel it's really important to acknowledge that, right, Viviana? And when that happens into your life, to have the power, because that voice is screaming inside, but have the power to say you don't deserve it, right? And to acknowledge it's not your fault. When I was in that abusive 8-year relationship, verbally abusive, I finally had that light bulb moment, and I said, "That's it, we're done." And I told him, I said, "Don't ever try and get me back." I said, "I am done. The way you were to me, I didn't deserve it." Right. And it's so powerful to say that. And it takes a lot because of this journey that I've been on. I haven't talked about it it's just been the last 3 years I've been talking about it. And when it, when you bring it to light, it helps there's so many other women. Like you said, there's 7 out of 10 other women that have been hurt physically and mentally. But when they start knowing that they're not alone and it happens to other people, then it's not them that's causing it, then perhaps they'll find the strength, the baby steps to move forward and get out of the situation. And people, I've had people say to me, like, "Oh my gosh, that's so awful. And I'm so sorry." It's like, no, you don't need
Mm-mm.
to apologize. I said, it happened and I've become stronger. I am now stronger than I've ever been before. And because I'm stronger, I'm a stronger voice for other women. I'm a strong voice for my kids because I've told my two kids, my son and my daughter, like, you need to be strong and do not allow people to bully you and do not allow people to talk wrong of you. And, specifically to my daughter, I've said, like, do not ever let someone touch you and not have a voice, and do not ever let them know it's not okay. Um, but again, there are, Viviana, people that think it's wrong to talk about it, or they're
Mhm.
ashamed to talk about it. But no, if you're anybody out there, if you're going through this, again, as you mentioned, Viviana, as I mentioned, it's not your fault. It's not something you've done. It's not something you said. The victimizer, the person who causes the hurt, it's them with the issue and them with the problem. And who knows, maybe they had issues when they were young themselves, and this is their way. They're lashing out because now they feel in control, because when they were younger, they weren't in control, and now they feel they need to have the power because they're older and stronger. And this happens to men and women, right? It happens to men are put in this abusive situation, women are put into this abusive situation. But you're right, more women than not are in this situation. So yeah, it's a conversation we can never stop having. And I'm really, really happy to say that it's more out there. But
Mhm.
at the same time, there's a lot of silence happening. That people are suffering with silence.
Yeah, and we have to be brave and speak up. We have to be brave.
Yeah,
We owe it to ourselves
we do.
to be able to say it, even if it hurts,
Hmm.
and even if we feel that it's gonna hurt anyone else out there, because that's pretty much the main reason why women stay quiet. They don't wanna hurt their loved ones, or but we have to do it so that we can move forward and make beautiful things happen in our lives too.
Hmm. Yeah, again, when you said we don't want to hurt someone, we don't want them to think something, again, it's this voice inside. She's saying,
Yep,
oh, don't say anything because what are other people going to think, or what are they going to say? Right?
yep, yep,
Never mind.
exactly.
Here, this is what we need to listen to: our intuition, our gut, our heart. It is so strong, yet we're so wonderful as women. We excel at not listening to this, to our heart,
Yeah,
right? We excel at listening to this, that negativity. So again, whatever is negative, listen to your heart, listen to the positive, excel at that. And now with the internet or with communities out there, if you feel you cannot talk to somebody in your family, someone in your circle, there's other avenues, there's other resources out there. They're there for you. So reach out, reach out, reach out, reach out.
yes, and I love what you do because it really, I mean, teaching that is what gives us a space, right, to connect with ourselves. And then, I mean, what cannot we do when we are empowered? When a woman is empowered, is able to conquer, uh,
Yeah.
mountains.
Yeah. Yeah. I have on my phone a photo, black and white photo of myself, and I said, I'm unstoppable.
Yeah, you
Right?
are.
Because, yeah, when you become empowered, you become unstoppable because you do not let all that negativity empower you. You let the stronger voice, the beautiful voice, the powerful voice make you stronger. And it's amazing when you focus all the what I don't have, what I want but can't have, oh, all these awful things that are happening to me. Well, you know what? When you're focused on those messages, those thoughts, I always say the universe hears you. Okay, well, then we'll give you more of that because I'm hearing not, 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 not.
Right.
But when you focus on, I know this is going to work out. I'm going to take the baby steps because this is what it's going to lead me to. And that wasn't the greatest, but this is better.
Hmm.
Then the universe says, oh, yes, I'm hearing more of these good things and more of these good things, more of these positive, more self worth. I'm hearing more self knowledge and more self love. Well, I'm giving you lots of that. And it's a journey, right? It's not going to happen overnight. I mean, when I talked about beginning, it's a constant journey. But it's those little celebrations, Viviano, those little things that happen. That is huge. That is huge. Is maybe yesterday and the last 10, 25 years, you did not have a positive thought about yourself. But now when you wake up and you look in the mirror and you see that beautiful reflection staring back at you and you gave yourself a compliment, that is reason to celebrate because you did it. You haven't done it for who knows how long, but now you're doing it. That is such a celebration to be proud of, and continue it tomorrow and tomorrow and the next day after. Write it down in your gratitude. I always talk about gratitude. It's something, I do is gratitude journaling. Um, I like to write 5 things, and that what works for me. 5 things in my gratitude journal, what I'm thankful for, and it can be repeated. It doesn't matter. But some people say, I don't have time to gratitude. But just that thought, when you wake up, say, I am thankful for, I am grateful for whatnot. Because, so one of the things I'm going to share, one of the things I write every day in my gratitude journal, my number one thing I write every day is, I am grateful for my health because it keeps me alive.
Mm-hmm.
It's a simple thing. The sunshine. I'm grateful for the sunshine because it makes me feel so good and it uplifts the energy and it's so bright and beautiful outside. So it's very uncomplicated. It's simple. Sometimes we feel gratitude needs to be so complicated, but it's a simple. We need to get back to simple things in life to be able to tackle the complicated things in life.
I think it's such a great exercise, especially in the mornings or the evenings.
Mhm.
Because we're in the mornings, because it sets the mood for the rest of your day.
Yes.
If you wake up and you're thankful, you take just a few minutes for that, it just sets the mood to a positive, sunnier day, even if it's the sun is within you. I'm in upstate New York, so there's not much sun going on today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right, Viviana. It's how we begin our morning that sets us up for how the day will be. I mean, there's days you've probably experienced, and I've experienced myself, where you wake up and you're feeling miserable. I mean, this used to happen a lot for me, but I honestly have to say not really anymore. But you wake up, or people, they wake up and they're feeling miserable and everything's going wrong. They're dropping things, they're spilling things, they're grumpy, they're on their way to work, they're hitting all the red lights and nothing's going right at work, and they got these awful emails. How did you wake up in the morning? You woke up feeling awful and seeing everything awful. Of course, that's the mindset you're going to have. Well, hello, universe. I'm going to keep on bringing it to you. Right? And I keep on saying, universe, whether some people believe it or not, I strongly do. But it's even that mindset, right? That mindset is really negative. So it's going to stay there. But when you wake up and, before you get out of bed, stretch and open the curtains, open the blinds, let the light in. Maybe it's not light out yet when you wake up, and go about your day. Like, I wake up, I'm awake, I'm living another day. This is beautiful. That's a positive thought. And
Yeah.
that's going to allow another positive thought to come in. And if you have you ever done this, Vivian? You drop something and it's like, oh no, I dropped it. And then you go to pick it up and you drop it again. And you go to pick it up and you drop it again. And you keep on thinking, oh, am I going to drop it again? Yeah, right? This is why. But if you drop something, it's like, oh, I dropped it, but that's all right. I'm going to pick it up this time. And you're able to. It's like when you tell a child, don't spill the milk. What happens?
Right away.
They spill it, right? But it's like, oh, I like the way you're carrying your glass of milk. A happy smile, and they're able to carry it wherever they're going. so, so it's those simple examples. Yeah, people can relate. You were laughing, so you're like, yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, it's how you begin your morning. It's how you're going to set yourself up for
Yeah.
the whole day, right? It's how you set yourself up for the whole day. And even if you've come across an awful email or this really miserable coworker, or you have to meet somebody for whatever, and like, oh boy, this is not looking forward to this. Well, let's shift that. Start our day with positives, like, yeah, you know what? I have to meet this person. it's something I need to do, but I'm going to just create a white bubble about myself and just listen. But I'm going to make a point of not letting it bring me down. I'm
Mhm.
going to make a point of after a meeting or after I meet with them, I'm just going to sit by myself or in my vehicle or in my office or at my home. And I'm just going to breathe 3 deep breaths, and exhales. I'm going to release my energy and I'm done with them. It's over and done. Now I'm going to continue on my day in this positive feeling I had of how I woke up. So it's those little simple steps. And the more, Viviana, the more we become aware of what we do, how we do it, the more we become aware of making these things become natural, these habits, the easier it happens, the easier it just comes to you naturally. So, yeah, I always say it's baby steps, right? When we try and change everything, try and do a 180 or a 360, you're setting yourself up for failure. And that's going to be a really harsh word to use, but it's true.
Mhm.
Set yourself up to succeed. What are those baby, simple steps you need to take every day to succeed? It's like riding a bike. Those people that ride a bike. Did you get on your bike and just start riding? All right. You didn't. Kids can be so resilient. They get on their bike, they fall off, they get on again, they fall off, they get on again because they know they're going to do it. And what happens before you know it? They're riding their bike. Same idea, right? What is your end goal? Okay. Instead of trying to boom, full on steam, you're going to wear yourself out and you're just going to be so frustrated because nothing's working out. But when you break it down into simple steps that are achievable, oh my, each step you take, you're going to celebrate and look forward to accomplishing that next step and eventually getting to that goal. I mean, you've done it in your life, right? I've done it in my life. And it's when we acknowledge the little steps we take in between, when we believe in them, when we know we can do it, when we acknowledge it, when we create self love and self worth and self care, it's amazing what you can do. It's amazing how you can empower yourself and you end up empowering others too, believe it or not.
Absolutely. Just by
Yeah.
example, just by allowing people to see how successful or happy or joyful you are.
Hmm.
And in
Yeah.
the end, we're energy, and that's the energy that we spread, right?
Yeah, it's so true. And smile. Oh my gosh, a smile is powerful. I remember when, like, we haven't done karate now for a year because with the whole COVID regulations, right? We can't be in a gymnasium and just working out, sweating out together. So we really miss it. But I remember one of the boys coming up to me in the karate class. He was 12, and he said, "Tanya, why is it you always smile?" And I looked at him, I said, "Oh, thank you." I said, "Because I'm happy to be here and I'm happy for life and I'm just having joy of life." He says, "Yeah, I like it that you always smile." It's like, "Oh." So
That's so sweet.
yeah, yeah, smile. So never underestimate the power you have and what people perceive and what people um, bring with them, right? Because
Mhm.
that perhaps helped him shift in how he saw himself.
Wow. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. That's so inspiring. Wow. I'm
Oh,
inspired. I'm pretty sure everybody that's listening is super inspired with you.
oh, thank you. Oh, that's why I love again, maybe on this podcast you have, this platform. It's allowing myself to share a message with the whole world who's
Yes.
watching.
Yeah.
um, because that in itself, when we can give out kindness, and that's the great thing with internet now, right? When we can really help spread the word together, you and I, that is amazing. That is powerful. And there's no words to use really
It's
um,
true. It's
to
true.
describe it, right? To
Yeah.
describe it. So, that's why I love that you're giving me another platform to share this message. And, I really feel strong by you having this podcast, Viviana, that you are helping so many women out there. So many women out there. Because perhaps in your world, there's people you work with or people you met that appear to be the most resilient and strongest person in the world, and you even look up to them. But chances are there's a percentage that is just crumbling inside, but they feel they have to make a face appearance to be a certain way. But yet that's not how you want to be. And I feel it's really strong, Viviana, you having this platform, you doing this podcast, because you have your separate entrepreneur world where maybe you yourself need to be or appear a certain way. Yet by having this platform, this podcast, you're allowing yourself to open up that other part of you. So I think that's really powerful. I think that's really powerful what you're doing, because it's letting the other people of very high power in your entrepreneurial world to see, hmm, Viviana's showing a soft side. Viviana's showing a vulnerable side.
Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful.
Mm.
I'm learning something from her. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's beautiful what you're doing, and I acknowledge you, and I thank you for doing this, right, and allowing yourself to do this.
Thanks, Tanya. Thank you so much. And
Aw.
well, we've come to the end of the show, but well, I always want to invite the audience to reach out to our guests because I know that there's someone out there that needs you, that wants to work closer with you. How can they reach you? How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, simple ways. You can head to my website, bodybusiness.ca, just the way it sounds. If you go to my Instagram, Tanya Otterstein-Liehs, I'm there, as well as Facebook. Those are the best ways to reach me. And yeah, send me messages. And, I'm always here to listen. I love when people reach out to me and just say, Tanya, I just need someone to listen to me. I just need someone to give me a helpful tip to get over this stumbling block I'm in. I mean, that's what I'm here for, to help you move forward. Because if I can help you move ahead, then you know what? That's the most beautiful gift that I can share. So, yeah, reach out any way you can. I'm here to
All
listen
right.
and to help you move forward. Thank you.
Thanks, Tanya. And thanks, everyone, for listening.